All right, let's talk about, this is called how to stop unhelpful ruminating. And you know, ruminating is very common for people who have the autism spectrum, for both children and adults who have the autism spectrum, like me. Okay, so, all right, so I want to talk about how, because you know, my therapist recommended that I should try to stop these rumination prevention measures. So, yeah, I got this printed and stapled recently, so I'm gonna start. Okay, so here it goes. Okay. How to stop unhelpful ruminating. Objective: to increase the likelihood of effective problem solving and decrease ruminating. So, okay, and what to know. Do you find yourself dwelling on problems or challenges that distress you? Perhaps you repeatedly think about events from your past, or you become preoccupied with something and you cannot get it out of your mind. Continuously thinking the same thoughts is called rumination. There are two types of rumination. Helpful. Involves what or how questions, is process focused, and supports problem solving. You might ask, what are some ways I can resolve this problem, or what can I do to make this situation better? Like, for example, back in last winter when they had the Night to Shine prom, part of the Tim Tebow Foundation, because you know the Tim Tebow Foundation, that's TEBOW. They host a prom for teenagers. For people with disabilities that are ages 14 and older. They hold a prom every year to raise the cause. So, here's what happened earlier back in February. This past February, around the same time of the Night to Shine prom by the Tim Tebow Foundation. Just like last year when I wanted to go, just like this year when I wanted to attend the Night to Shine prom this year, just like I did last year and look handsome in a tuxedo. Well, guess what? This year that was not the case, because what I found, I got a fan. Nice. Because what I found out is because the registration for the Night to Shine prom was fully booked, and there were no open signings left, open registrations left to go to the Night to Shine prom. So I try to make things better going forward. I'm not doing too bad at all. So I'm talking about rumination tips and prevention measures. So right now I am on helpful rumination tips. So, and on the day of the Night to Shine, before we had the prom, before the prom went underway, I wanted to have a good day, but it turns out that I blew up, well, behaviorally and emotionally, because I was very upset on the day that I wanted to go to the Night to Shine prom, the prom for um, individuals that are above the age of 14 with disabilities. So, and I try to make things better. So, and I have been making things better in the last couple months. Okay. And now we move on to unhelpful rumination tips. Involves why, questions, and is more evaluate, because your questions attempt to make meaning of events and situations, tend to focus on problems it causes and the consequences. You might ask, why do bad things always happen to me? Or what is this situation never gets better? And here's an example. Back in November, I got a like. I got my first like in my live stream. Yippee! Okay, like I said, now we get to unhelpful rumination. Why does it keep happening to me? Okay, here's what here's a prime example. Back in November, around the time of my 35th birthday, I had, they thought I had impetigo. IMPETIGO. And in case you don't know what impetigo is, or impetigo, it's a skin infection that mostly infects small children and professional athletes. So, and when I thought that I had impetigo, and when my plans were severely disrupted because they thought I was gonna spread the impetigo virus to others, because I wasn't around small children. So, but it turns out that it was not impetigo, and instead I had acne. So, and I try to make things better when I talked about seeing a dermatologist to see if it was impetigo or if it was something else. But it turns out it was not impetigo, because small children usually get impetigo, and I'm not around small children. So, well, it sucks that I'm down to one viewer. So, I usually go to church on Sundays, but I don't know what the F I'm doing on Saturday. So, we'll figure it out. Okay, now we're going to move on. Rumination is normal, but if you do it excessively, it can be a problem, because it does not usually lead to effective problem solving, and can even negatively affect your mental health. In addition, unhelpful rumination can prolong or intensify depression, increase anxiety, support negative thinking, affect your ability to think clearly, and block your ability to process emotions. Here are some common reasons for rumination. Oh, hi. How are you? Yes, I play video games. Thank you so much for asking me. So, yes, I do play video games. So, like I said, you believe that ruminating will allow you to gain insight into your life or problems, have a history of emotional or physical trauma, face ongoing uncontrolled stress, are a perfectionist, excessively focused on relationship with others. Once you are stuck in rumination, it can be hard to get out of it. If you notice yourself starting to ruminate in an unhealthy way, yes, I have a lot of friends. Yes, I do have a lot of friends in the world. So, okay, so once you are now, great, now I'm lost. I'll start again. Once you are stuck in rumination, it can be hard to get out of it. If you notice yourself starting to ruminate in an unhelpful way, stop the thoughts as quickly as possible and focus on solutions. Here is a visual of what can happen when you get into an unhelpful rumination cycle. We're going to move on to the next page. What happens when you dwell on a problem? What if this situation that gets never better? What is wrong with me? What did I do to deserve? Why does this always happen to me? And why did I deserve this? So those are good questions that I like to ask myself when I keep ruminating in an unhealthy way, in an unhelpful manner of the rumination. So yes, I read Harry Potter books. And yeah, I do read a lot of Harry. You know, I love Harry Potter. So, okay. So, what happens when you dwell on the problem and then you move on to what are some ways I can solve this problem? What can I do to make this situation better? Oh, that's wonderful. And also, folks, you see this banner? That's when I reach 500 subscribers. And I want to be able to reach 1,000. So keep it up, folks. You're doing fantastic. Do not disappoint me. Okay, back to the rumination. Oops. Excellent. Okay, action steps to solve the problem. Excellent. I got a new subscriber. The party's just getting started. All right. So, and you know there are 3 lines on the box that says action steps to solve the problem. Yeah, I'll just leave them blank. So, and we're gonna move on. Hi. Yeah, we're gonna move on right now. So what can you do to stop ruminating? Here are 10 tips to use when the same thoughts repeat in your head. 1. Distract yourself. When you start to ruminate, find a distraction to stop the thought cycle. Quickly choose something else to do, like for example, thank you so much. And thumbs up if you really like my banner that I made, my 500 subscribers banner that I made after when I reached the 500 mark. Okay, so let's go to distract yourself. Distract yourself by calling a loved one. Oh, sorry. Calling a loved one, watching a funny video, going for a walk, reading a book, really? I never thought of it that way. And you never know, it might come soon enough. Doing a household task, listening to music, or listening to music or an audiobook. Works good for me, but the only problem is they forgot to play video games on it. So, if that was a custom distract myself rule, they would add play video games. So, ooh, I got another like. Excellent. Keep on liking this video, folks, and keep subscribing to my channel. Okay, so number 2, plan. Instead of repeatedly thinking about the problem, write down a plan to address it. Outline each step you need to take. Be specific and realistic. Doing this will disrupt your rumination and help you move forward. Like for example, when I can't stop thinking about the Night to Shine blow up back in February when I was told that I cannot go to the Night to Shine prom, all because it was fully booked and I had the Night to Shine blow up. That's something I'm gonna look towards finding myself to keep myself distracted, so this way it will eventually get off my mind permanently. Wow. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, number 3, act. Refer to your plan and move forward with each step until your mind is at ease. And that's what I have been doing all this time. So maybe one day I'm gonna do rumination prevention sessions, well, through live YouTube videos. So let me know if everyone thinks that should be a good idea. The online rumination prevention sessions on exclusively on my YouTube channel. So let me know in the comments if you think that should help. See, even Tambourines 55 agrees. So, okay, we're gonna move on to the next page. We're at number 4 right now. Question your thoughts. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. So, you might ruminate when you think you have made a big mistake. Like I did today when sometimes when I get mad, I say things I don't really mean, and then I feel apologetic because of it, because I do feel bad. So, like for example, I want to go home and I just want to stay in bed all day. Those are prime examples. Why, thank you. Okay, so we'll continue with number 4. If you start ruminating, put your repetitive thoughts in perspective by asking yourself if the thoughts are accurate. Often you will realize your thoughts are not facts. So remember, facts before thoughts. So think before you do it. So, yeah, think before you do it. Because I've had problems with my behavior in the past. So, and I had behavioral problems in the past. So that's something I'm really looking to tame for good. Okay, we're going to move on to number 5. Adjust your goals. Perfectionism and unrealistic goal setting can lead to rumination. If you set unrealistic goals, you may start to focus on why you have not achieved the goal. Oh, I heard hi. To avoid self-criticism, adjust your goals as needed. Like for example, me and a really good friend of mine wanted to go to Las Vegas so badly. Because Las Vegas is far away, but we wanted to go to Las Vegas, but a lot of things kept fucking it up, like COVID and everything going on in between. So, thank you so much, Tambourines 55. So, thank you so much for being one of my top fans. So, yeah, I do want to, me and this one really good friend of mine do want to go to Las Vegas one day. But unfortunately, we don't have the money to go to Las Vegas. And when we wanted to go, that one year, COVID screwed everything up. Thank you. Yeah, COVID screwed everything up. Yeah, well, first we had that snowstorm, and then COVID screwed everything up. So, okay, so number 6, build your self-esteem. Lack of self-esteem is associated with increased rumination. You can enhance your self-esteem by building an existing strengths or learning a new skill. Sorry about that. Like for example, earlier this week, I tried pottery for the first time, and guess what? I actually got used to pottery. Oh, now I'm down to no viewers. Ugh. Oh, geez Louise. Yes, I will. And hopefully I'll reach 1,000 subscribers maybe before the end of the month. So, yeah, I tried pottery this week. And I actually got used to like making coffee mugs and everything. Pottery is a lot of work because you have to put the clay on the wheel and you have to let it spin and everything, and then you got to hold on to the clay and while it's still moist and everything. So yes, I do. Thank you so much. So that really makes me smile. All right, so we're going to move on to number 7 now, meditation. Yeah, sorry, I had to clear my throat though. When you are emotionally calm and your mind is clear, you are less likely to ruminate. If your thoughts are looping, seek out a quiet space, sit down, breathe deeply, and focus on your mind. And then we go move on to number 8 now. Understand your triggers. Each time you ruminate, note the situation, including where you are, time of day, who you are with, and what have you been doing. Avoiding or managing triggers can reduce rumination. Oh, thank you so much. So, and that's something I need to work on today when I was having a really rough day and everything. So, yeah, I was having a rough morning. Just one of those days where I wanted to stay in my bed all fucking day. But I didn't. I had to go to work and I had to follow what I had to do. Follow my schedule. Number 9, seek help. Talk about repetitive thoughts with a coach or therapist. A professional can help you identify why you were ruminating and how to stop the thought cycle. Why don't you? Well, because it's 8 o'clock. It's almost 8:30. It's still too early for me to go to bed. You know, I usually on work nights I usually go to bed around 10:30, depending on how many video games I play. So, or depending on what I haven't planned. So, and I'm such a party animal though. So, even though I'm not allowed to drink alcohol, so. All right. So number 10. Choose change. If rumination is a habit, here are simple changes that you can make that can help you stop the cycle. Be a proactive problem solver. Identify problems you tend to ruminate about and start taking action to solve them. One step at a time. So, like for example, let's see here. Like for example, today when I was having a rough morning and I talked about what was bothering me and everything. Yeah, I talked with some friends of mine of what is bothering me and everything, like missing my mom and missing living in my childhood home. That's something that I could talk about. Okay, next we move on to engage in positive habits. Praise yourself for your achievements and forgive yourself for your mistakes. Focus on building your self-esteem, taking care of yourself, and doing things you enjoy. And those, one of the many things I enjoy is, you all know, playing video games. I'm just like that guy from Home Improvement. You know that guy from The Fence who lives next door to Tim. You know that guy from Home Improvement. See, just like him. So, okay. Next up, build a support system. Loved ones and perhaps a coach or therapist can distract you from ruminating thoughts and support you in skill building. It is possible to free yourself from ruminating thoughts by following these tips. And what video? Super Smash Brothers. And you know, of all the Super Smash Brothers games, like I said in my previous live streams, my favorite Super Smash Brothers game is Ultimate. So, like I said, okay, we move on to. It is possible to free yourself from ruminating thoughts by following these tips. What to do? First, write down a problem you are ruminating about. And that whole section is blank. So, and for now, I'm just going to leave it blank. So let me check 1 second. Me too. So let me check the top fans. Ooh. Yeah, I don't understand what the experience points are. So, in the top fans, I don't understand what the and also, folks, okay, and we're just about to finish this page. So, refer to the visual of the rumination cycle and fill in your own. On the left side, write down the repetitive thoughts you have when you ruminate. Answer the questions on the right side of the image. Use additional paper if you need more space. Okay, we finished this page, so. And also, before we move on to the next page, what is your favorite character in the Super Smash Brothers series? In 64 Melee, it is Mario and Yoshi. And in Brawl Through Ultimate, it's Mario and Sonic. A tie. Well, 64 Melee is Mario and Yoshi are tied in Melee. 64 Melee, while Mario and Sonic are tied in Brawl Through Ultimate. And like I said, I want to show you once again my 500 subscribers banner that I previously made when I reached 500 subscribers. So, do you all like it? I made it. Yes, me too. Well, the last two pages are actually pretty blank. So, well, most of it is pretty blank. So, okay, and I will, but I can only read what it says in the boxes in the last two pages. So, okay, what happens when you dwell on the problem? What are some of the ways I can solve this problem? And what can I do to make the situation better? But for now, I'm going to leave them blank. So, Now I'm going to turn the green screen off. But for now, I'm just going to leave them blank. Give me 1 second. Okay, now I'm at the last page. But most of it is just blank lines, so. But hold on 1 second. I got a yawn a big yawn coming in. So. Okay. What are some ways you can distract yourself when you find yourself ruminating? We're going to leave that, let's see. What are some ways you can enhance your self-esteem? Sorry, I got something stuck in my teeth. It happened, so nothing you can do about it. Okay, so what triggers you when you ruminate? Be specific. Reflections on this exercise. What is the hardest part about doing this exercise? What is the easiest part? How was this helpful? How helpful was this exercise? 1, meaning it's not very helpful. 5, moderately helpful. 10, extremely helpful. And you could just put 1 through 10 on it. So, and also, the last question on the assignment is, what did you learn from this activity? But for now, I'm just gonna leave this all blank, at least for now. So, I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second and then. Sorry about that, folks. I had to put my rumination assignment away. So, and I'm going to start filling out the rumination tips eventually when the time comes. So, and now we're going to talk about like questions and answers to close out the live stream because I got to charge up my phone soon. Now we're going to have some questions and answers about rumination, prevention and prevention measures, and how rumination can be prevented in any way. So feel free to ask some questions because I'm going to start wrapping things up in tonight's live session about rumination. So, none? Oh, come on. There's got to be some questions that I got to answer. Oh, come on. There's got to be some questions I can answer in tonight's live session. I'm still waiting. Come on already. None? Well, that's okay. I'm going to conclude things for the night anyways. So, folks, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much for 500 subscribers. And we'll see you all in my next live stream. And I might start doing rumination strategies. I might become a rumination tutor on and how this can be resolved. So if there are any ways that I can help feel free to watch the entire live stream once it's fully uploaded on my YouTube channels, and we will see you all next time, boys and girls.